Hello everyone, how are you all? Students, I hope you people are studying properly in your home. Yes, and as we were discussing your chapter number 2 of microeconomics, in that we have discussed about the difference between the cardinal and ordinal utility approach. Yes, so related to that only few questions are there. So let's just solve it and you will know that what kind of questions can be generated. Okay. So the first question is asking here is which approach is most preferable between cardinal and ordinal. So there are four options: ordinal approach, cardinal approach, both are required or both are misleading and should not be used. So what can be the right answer? So it is like both are required because they are the different concepts which we have discussed. So according to the different things, both are required. Okay, let's see the next question. Next question is, if the actual purchase point lies between the budget line, then it means that the customer dash. Now there are four options: could not brought more, is happy, has brought more than possible, or is not a rational buyer. So what is the answer? So it is could have got more because it is saying about the budget lines below point. Okay, that means what, students? Like for example, just see in the green board that here two goods are there. Okay, like good A and good B. Okay, whenever we are drawing any graph, okay, so don't ever miss to label everything. It is the x-axis, it is the y-axis. What we are showing in the x and y-axis, good A and good B. Now this is the budget line. Okay, let's name it A and B. Okay, this point is A, this point is B. Now whatever the point here it will be. Okay, any point in this line, if it is there, then it is like a consumer is happy and they cannot buy beyond this because this is the limit. But if the point is there below the budget line, okay, it is saying purchasing point lies below the budget line. That means what? There is a scope that this all can be extended to the limit of the budget line. So that is why it is today that the customers can bought more. Okay, so this is what the concept is. I hope you people have got it. Otherwise you can ask. Okay, so this is the answer of the second question. Let's see the next one. Now it is saying a TV channel wants to decide about the serial. If they wanted to use a cardinal approach, what would they collect as data? So four options are there. The first one is conduct survey of people and ask them about what they like. Second is input from the astrologer. Third is content from messages received and letters received. Fourth is collect data from cable about number of households that keep the TV on at the time of serial and number of hours households that switch to the channel during that time. So what will be the answer? Okay, so as the question is there, a TV channel wants to decide about the serial. If they want to use cardinal approach, what would they collect as a data? So basically cardinal is what? That can be expressed in numbers. Okay, so which example is there which is expressing the numbers that we have to choose? So it is saying that collect data from the cable about number households that keep the TV on at the time of serial and the number of households that switch the number to the channel during that time. So numbers are expressed with cardinal approach. That is why we have selected this option. Okay. Now The fourth one, it can ask in your exams also, that budget line indicates four options are there: income of the person, possible combination of that, use up entire budgets, upper limit for spending, or none of the above. So you will feel that all the options are right, but you have to collect the most probable right answer. So that is the possible combination that use up the entire budget. Okay. The next question is, in the ordinal approach, the exact relation between the two numbers is dash. Always known, not known, dependent on who collects data, or unrelated. So you have to select one. So let's just see. So in ordinal approach, the exact relation between the two numbers is not known, because in ordinal approach the utilities are not expressed in number, but it is always compare in ranks. Okay, so likewise we have discussed this all questions. Now let's go for the another topic. Okay, so that is the consumer surplus and indifference curve analysis. Okay, so now as we have already discussed that what is consumer and what is consumer surplus, you need to get an idea. So consumers are V, okay, and consumers equilibrium is what? That whatever the money we are spending, okay, so we will get a satisfaction while spending that money for the purchase of any goods or services, whatever we are utilizing of like consuming that goods and services. If they are getting they are giving us the full satisfaction, then the consumer is in equilibrium. Now suppose that you went to a shop, okay, there you have to purchase 2 packets of biscuit, okay, and for that you are having 20 rupees. But when you are going to the shop, you are finding that the offer is going on, where if you buy 2 packet of biscuit, then 1 packet is free, okay. So you are spending 20 rupees only, but you are getting 3 packet of biscuit. So that is the status of consumer surplus. Surplus क्या, जिसमें कि फायदा होता है. दूसरा एग्जाम्पल, if you are like again went to the shop for purchasing the 2 packet of biscuit, and there you have found that there is 5 rupees off, okay. So now you are getting the 2 packets of biscuit only in 15 rupees, and 5 rupees you are able to save. So that is your surplus amount, okay, which you can either save or can spend for purchasing the other goods, okay. So in that way the surplus concept is used to be get discussed, जबकि कंज्यूमर में जितना बजट होता है उससे ज़्यादा उसको फ़ायदा हो जाए जब वो उस चीज़ को स्पेंड करे गुड्स और सर्विसेज को खरीदने के लिए. ओके, सो फॉर दैट लेट्स जस्ट फर्स्ट सी द वीडियो. Yes, now for understanding the consumer surplus, again one more concept you have to learn, that is the indifference curve. So what is indifference curve? That we are going to learn first of all. Okay, so again as we are discussed about the PPC curve, in that also 2 goods combination details we have learned. Now as this indifference curve, okay, this curve is called as indifference curve. Again there is x-axis, y-axis, that is showing the 2 products. Okay, so we are going to discuss about this all things only. Let's just see this.
Indifference curve analysis. Have you ever had to juggle your money between 2 or more commodities? Have you ever decided to buy less of something so that you can buy more of something else? Most likely you have. When we have limited money and need to choose how to spend it, we try to buy a combination of items or services that will give us the maximum satisfaction or value for money. The indifference curve is an analytical approach that shows consumer preferences in the context of two novel goods competing for a limited budget. For example, let's assume you have limited income or allowance money that you can spend on books and CDs in a month. We also assume you are a rational consumer who would like to spend your money for optimal gain, that you are not oversaturated with either books or CDs, and that your tastes in books and CDs are largely consistent.
So basically we are going to learn this theory with certain assumptions and examples. So here we are saying that we are the consumer which is having the limited money. Limited money we are having, okay, and that we have to spend in the two goods, that is books and CDs, okay. With this limited amount of money we have to purchase two products, that is the books and CDs, and with the assumptions क्या है यहाँ पे कि you are a consumer who is rational means what, that the consumer is thinking logically, okay, then they are not oversaturated to choose any particular product like more, like I am not saturated that I have to purchase more books and I am ignoring CDs, but I have a rational behavior in which I have to choose such a combination which will give us the maximum satisfaction, and there is a consistency in the taste. That means what, that my choice is there in between this both only. I am not thinking about any third good, but my goods choice is consistent between this two only, okay.
To some extent, you may not be very particular about the exact number of books or CDs you buy each month. That means you are indifferent to how many of each you can buy, so long as you can buy some of both. Given your budget, for instance, you may either buy 12 CDs and one book, or 6 CDs and 2 books, or 4 CDs and 3 books, or 3 CDs and 4 books.
Yes, so now whatever the limited money we are having, there are the different combination A, B, C, D, in which there are the different ratios of books and CDs are there. In combination A, in this either I can purchase 1 unit of book and 12 unit of CD. Then in B option it is 2 units of book and 6 units of CDs. In C combination there are 3 units of book and 4 units of CDs, or in D it is 4 units of book and 3 units of CDs. So there are the different combination a consumer can choose among whatever the money they are having, in that the different ratios which will give them the maximum satisfaction, okay. So it is basically showing the different combination which we are going to express with the help of indifference curve. That one indifference curve will show the one combination, okay. The second indifference curve will show the second combination. So in one indifference curve there will be only the one combination with that given amount of budget, okay. Let's just see, then you will understand it.
And you may derive equal satisfaction from all the 4 combinations or bundles. The table showing the varying bundles would be called an indifference schedule. The indifference schedule can be plotted on an indifference curve like this. An indifference curve shows various combinations of 2 commodities which give equal utility or satisfaction to the consumer. The curve shows that given a fixed budget and fixed prices of both goods, you may be indifferent to which bundle or combination you select on this continuum. Note that the indifference curve slopes downward from left to right, that is, it has a negative slope. As the quantity of one commodity increases, the quantity of the other commodity decreases, and vice versa.
Yes, students, basically see, as the limited amount of money was there and we have chosen the different combination, the different ratios of the two goods, that which all will give the maximum satisfaction. So the different consumers will opt for the different combinations, okay. But this one that anything I can choose, because in 100 rupees I can go for any combination. Okay. Now the another thing is what, that as I am choosing if 12 units of CDs, then I have to sacrifice the number of units of books because I am having the limited amount of money only. But if I am increasing the units of books, then I have to sacrifice the units of CD again. Why? Because I am having the limited amount of money only, in which I have to select such a combination which will give me the maximum satisfaction. The next is what, again the indifference curve is sloping downward from left to right. Sloping downward from left to right. Okay, so that is a negative slope. That means what, that if we are increasing the number of one good, automatically the another one has to be decreases because of the limited amount of money or budget. Let's see what the other thing is saying.
This reflects the fundamental assumption that a rational consumer is willing to trade one item for another, so long as equal satisfaction is derived from the new situation.
Yes, so now it is saying about the substitution assumption in this theory of indifference curve, that consumer will trade one item for another if equal satisfaction is derived from the new situation. That means what, that if I am going from this point to this point, okay, I am trading one item to the another, and if it is giving me the equal satisfaction, okay, in this situation also, then only I will choose it. Okay, so anyways it will give me, because 100 rupees ही खर्च हो रहे हैं और उसमें मुझे अलग अलग कॉम्बिनेशन मिल रहा है, मेरे ज़्यादा पैसे तो खर्च हो नहीं रहे हैं, उसमें मैं कोई भी कॉम्बिनेशन अपने नीड के हिसाब से चूज कर सकती हूँ. ओके, सो लाइकवाइज इट इज सेम हियर.
The indifference schedule also reflects the change in the value of each good with changes in its quantity. For instance, when you have 12 CDs and just one book, you may be willing to give up 6 CDs for an extra book. But when you have only 4 CDs and 3 books, you may only be willing to give up 1 CD for an extra book. This rate of substitution between two goods can be represented through ratios and is known as the marginal rate of substitution, or MRS.
Now the another concept came to your this topic, that is the MRS. What is MRS? That is the marginal rate of substitution. Now what is the marginal means what? Additional. So additional rate of substitution of the particular goods. यहाँ पे क्या हुआ, 1 से 2 हो रहा है तो +1. Okay, now the 2 is again increasing to 3 +1. 3 is changing to 4 +1. So here we are taking the both ratio. Okay, both of the products ratio. So here the change is taking place of the 1:1 ratio. That is why here it is showing 1:1. Okay, now here it is saying 12 to, now in the first combination it is showing 12 and second combination it is showing 6. So if we will subtract it, we will find the difference of 6. So that is why it is mentioned here 6. Okay, if now again 6 is changing to 4, so there is a difference of 2. So that is why here it is 2. Now 4 is changing into 3, so that is why 1 is the difference. That is why it is mentioned here. So now the ratio between the both units changing, like how the different combinations are getting changed in which ratio. So that ratio is getting expressed as a marginal rate of substitution. Substitution क्यों बोला जा रहा है? क्योंकि हम एक goods, एक जो combination है उससे change करके दूसरे combination में आ रहे हैं. तो जब एक से दूसरे combination में आ रहे हैं तो कितना हम sacrifice कर रहे हैं दोनों goods के unit को. तो कितना हम जो change कर रहे हैं वो हम express कर रहे हैं marginal rate of substitution से. Okay, कि how much ratio of the both units we are actually sacrificing. So that is getting expressed as a marginal rate of substitution. Marginal मतलब additional, the rate of substitution, इसकी जगह उसको substitute कर रहे हैं. Substitute का मतलब क्या होता है? Alternative. Okay, so एक की जगह दूसरे को choose कर रहे हैं. So that is what it is saying here. Okay.
Note also that the indifference curve is convex to the origin. This represents a diminishing marginal rate of substitution. Now, let's assume the amount of your income or allowance money increases, or lesser quantities of the goods. This is represented by a lower indifference curve.
Now again there are the two different situations that it is talking about, that in this IC1 which we have talked, now IC2, that is the indifference curve 2. In this, if it is a budget, that means the income of mine is increased, okay, and the price of good decreased. तो अगर मेरा पैसा बढ़ गया और चीज़ों के दाम कम हो गए तो क्या होगा कि मैं ज़्यादा खरीद सकती हूँ. तो जब मैं ज़्यादा खरीद सकती हूँ तो मेरा जो लिमिटेड अमाउंट ऑफ मनी था वो भी इंक्रीज हो गया. ओके, सो व्हाट विल हैपन दैट आई कैन चूज मोर कॉम्बिनेशन बिकॉज माय इनकम हैज इंक्रीज्ड एंड द प्राइस ऑफ गुड हैज डिक्रीज्ड. So that is why my indifference curve will shift to upwards, okay, and that will give me the more options to purchase and more unit of goods I can purchase. And vice versa situation, what will happen that if my budget has decreased and the price of goods has increased, इन दोनों में से कुछ भी एक हो सकता है. अगर बजट कम हो गया या प्राइस ऑफ गुड्स इंक्रीज हो गया. अगर बजट कम हो गया तो ऑब्वियसली वॉट एवर प्रीवियसली आई वाज परचेजिंग आई हैव टू गो डाउन ऑफ इट, या फिर अगर मेरा उतना ही इनकम है और प्राइस ऑफ गुड्स ज़्यादा हो गया यानी कि चीज़ों की कीमत बढ़ गई, तब क्या होगा अगेन कि अब मुझे कम खरीदना पड़ेगा क्योंकि मेरे पास तो 100 रुपये थे. अब 100 रुपये में पहले 5 चीज़ खरीदती थी, अब दाम बढ़ गए तो मुझे 4 चीज़ ही खरीदना पड़ेगा. तो या फिर यस ओके, या फिर इसमें भी अगर हम करें IC2 कर्व की बात करें तो इसमें भी क्या है कि अगर मेरा बजट बढ़ गया तो मैं ज़्यादा खरीद सकती हूँ, या प्राइस जो है गुड्स के वो कम हो गए तो मैं ज़्यादा खरीद सकती हूँ. ठीक है, तो बोथ ऑफ द ऑप्शंस विल वर्क ऑन दिस. ओके, सो इफ माय बजट इज डिक्रीजिंग और द प्राइस ऑफ द गुड्स आर इंक्रीजिंग, देन आल्सो द इंडिफरेंस कर्व विल शिफ्ट to backward because now I am able to spend less. Okay, as I am spending previously, I am spending less of these two conditions. So likewise student, it is saying how the different indifference curve shows the different amount of your budget, right? If I am having 100 rupees, so it will show the combination of IC1. If my income has got increased, my budget is increased. If it is 200, then this all combination which exists in IC2 is showing the 200 concept. If my budget has got reduced to 50, so I can spend less, so it is showing from IC3 curve. Okay, so likewise it is same here.
Various indifference curves for the same set of products form an indifference map. Here, you will derive higher satisfaction from the higher curve, since you will get more books and CDs in total, and lower satisfaction from the lower curve, since you will get fewer books and CDs on the whole. If you are like most rational consumers, you will prefer any of the bundles on the higher curves rather than those on the lower curves, and your preferences will be described as monotonic preferences, which in simple terms means more is better than less.
Yes students, so here what you have learned that the different indifference curve shows the different level of satisfaction according to the different budget of a consumer. Okay, so higher the upper one, the higher indifference curve will show the high satisfaction, and the lower indifference curve will show the lower satisfaction. Okay, now it is the summary of this whatever we have seen. So first of all we have discussed about the indifference curve. It is saying that an indifference curve is a schedule that shows various combination of two goods which give an equal amount of satisfaction to the consumer. Okay, so students, likewise only the notes are there, you can just pause it and you can write it down. Okay, the next thing which we have learned is the marginal rate of substitution, or MRS is the rate at which the consumer is willing to substitute one set of goods for another without changing the level of satisfaction. So whatever the definitions are there, you learn it, okay, because this all can come in your exam, so you have to define it like that. Now what are the assumptions of indifference curve? So it is first of can only be ranked not measured. So हम यहाँ पे जो पढ़ रहे हैं वो ऑर्डिनल यूटिलिटी की कंसेप्ट है, ना कि कार्डिनल यूटिलिटी की. ओके, नेक्स्ट इट इज सेइंग कंज्यूमर इज नॉट ओवर सैचुरेटेड विद द गुड्स. फोर्थ इट इज सेइंग कंज्यूमर प्रेफरेंसेस आर कांस्टेंट. Fifth, it is saying marginal rate of substitution is diminishing. So these are the conditions which exist in this indifference curve theory, and then only this all concepts get implemented. Okay. So for today's this much only, students, you better just read this all concepts from your book so that we can have a good discussion over all these things in your live video classes. Okay. So the live sessions, I am going to ask all the questions which I have taught you in this videos lectures only. Okay, so you have to prepare it like that only. Just make a friendship to your books. Go for the reading. Okay, develop the reading style for your all the subjects. Then only you will get the concepts. Whatever the confusions are there, you can ask to me. Okay. So for today's session, this much only. Thank you, class. Utilize your time. Take care.